crypto, politics, tech, and more. Get your daily news fix with crypto, politics, tech, and more. Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrawlers May 14, 2025 edition. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube Music Charts, Global Top Songs May 2 to May 8, 2025. Die with a Smile, Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. APT, Rose and Bruno Mars. Paso Bame Solto, Slowed, ATLXS. El Mayor de los Ranas, Victor Valverde and J.R. Torres. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global. From the Friday, May 2 to Thursday, May 8, 2025. Die with a Smile, Lady Gaga, Bruno Mars. Ordinary, Alex Warren. Birds of a Feather. Billie Eilish. APT, Rose, Bruno Mars. Steam's Hottest Games. Global top selling and top played games across Steam. From the top 100 products by revenue list, for Tuesday, April 29, 2025 to Tuesday, May 6, 2025. Counter-Strike 2. Clair Obscur, Expedition 33. The Elder Scrolls 4, Oblivion Remastered. Schedule 1. REPO. CISA's Cybersecurity Alerts and Advisories. CISA is increasingly aware of unsophisticated cyber actors targeting ICS/SCADA systems within U.S. critical infrastructure sectors, oil and natural gas, specifically in energy and transportation systems. One more drop in the ocean of AI. ACE Steps ACE Step v1-3.5b. ACE Step is a novel open-source foundation model for music generation that overcomes key limitations of existing approaches through a holistic architectural design. It integrates diffusion-based generation with Sana's deep compression autoencoder, DCAE, and a lightweight linear transformer, achieving state-of-the-art performance in generation speed, musical coherence, and controllability. 15 times faster than LLM-based basslines, 20s for 4-minute music on A100, superior musical coherence across melody, harmony, and rhythm and full song generation, duration control, and accepts natural language descriptions. Amid U.S. chip sanctions and climate pressure, China builds mighty ocean simulation system. Marks & Spencer Group says hackers stole customers' personal data. In Germany, police raid conspiracy theorist group Kingdom of Germany. India's Modi demands Pakistan dismantle terror infrastructure for peace after Kashmir clashes, and India has only paused military action and will strike if any further terror attack occurs, Modi says. Senior Indian officials dismiss Trump's claim he alone brokered ceasefire with Pakistan. China reasserts India border claims with fresh list of standard place names, and India rejects China's latest renaming of places in Arunachal border state. German defense startup plans underwater drones for naval surveillance. India opens new BrahMos missile plant amid growing export demand and regional tensions. Nations meet at UN for killer robot talks as regulation lags. Flamingos create water tornadoes to trap their prey. Google updating its G icon for the first time in 10 years. Genshin Impact creator dives into AI for growth beyond games. China's Xi Jinping urges countries to stand united in face of global trade war. Vietnam cranks up fight on imported counterfeits amid U.S. tariff talks. It has been reported as Vietnam dismantles massive scam networks behind fake games and finance. Goldman Sachs, UBS raise China economic growth forecasts after U.S. trade truce, as Trump reduces tax on cheap imports from China, as U.S. slashes de minimis tariff on small China parcels to 54%. Trump says European Union is nastier than China, as it has been commented that Trump's tariff deals send Europe to the back of the line. Boeing's China deliveries to resume after ban lifted. Trump wants lower interest rates to counteract the inflation from his own tariff policies. Wildfires spread in Russia's Far East, Buryatia declares regional emergency. Climate crisis threatens the banana, the world's most popular fruit, research shows. Scientist whose biological seed treatments helped make Brazil a global breadbasket named 2025 World Food Prize laureate. Dr. Mariangela Hungria, a microbiologist from Sao Paulo, has developed dozens of biological seed and soil treatments that help crops source nutrients through soil bacteria, significantly increasing yields of major crops while also reducing the need for synthetic fertilizer. Google tests AI mode button on Google search box. TikTok launches TikTok AI Alive, a new image-to-video tool. Grok thinks Trump's story of a businessman who got the fat shot is about Elon Musk. President Donald J. Trump secures historic $600 billion investment commitment in Saudi Arabia. U.S. and KSA signed the largest defense sales agreement in history, nearly $142 billion, providing Saudi Arabia with state-of-the-art warfighting equipment and services from over a dozen U.S. defense firms. AWS enters into strategic partnership with Saudi Arabia-backed Humine. NVIDIA to send 18,000 AI GPUs to Saudi Arabia's state-backed AI data centers in wake of cancelled export rules. In Saudi Arabia, AMD planned $10 billion deployment of AI gear, and Saudi's new AI firm picks U.S. chipmaker Grok for inference. Dubai Finance and Crypto.com forge world-first agreement, that government of Dubai to allow cryptocurrency payments for fees, to facilitate government service fee payments using cryptocurrencies. CC Chair, blockchain holds promise of new kinds of market activity. Reportedly, a VIP seat at Donald Trump's crypto dinner cost at least $2 million, and Axios reports that Dems pressed Trump to divest from stablecoin. Nearly 19 million U.S. children live with a parent with substance use disorder. Wave of knife attacks in Japan sparks fears of copycat cases. Men are more likely to die of broken heart syndrome, study says. Trump says U.S. will remove all sanctions on Syria, and Trump meets with Syria's insurgent-turned-leader in Saudi Arabia. Reportedly, Syria offered to build Trump Tower in Damascus before president's meeting. In the U.S., Treasury targets global network shipping Iranian oil, funding Iran's military and terrorist activities. Trump calls on Saudi Arabia to join Abraham Accords recognizing Israel. Mexico's security chief confirms 17 of Ovidio Guzman's relatives have left for the U.S., as relatives of El Chapo enter U.S. as part of negotiation, Mexico's security secretary says. Mexican mayoral candidate gunned down during live broadcast of campaign rally. Brazil's military police kill leader of a drug trafficking group in a Rio favela. Sweden detains suspected spy, TV reports diplomat in custody. Tajikistan decriminalizes liking social media posts deemed extremist. UN agency finds Russia responsible for downing flight MH17 in 2014. Mobile games turn into boom or bust industry as spending rises. YouTube to stream 2025 Week 1 NFL regular season game in Brazil to worldwide audience for free. Meituan to launch Kita in Brazil, pledges $1 billion investment as China's Meituan to bring Kita food delivery service to Brazil after Saudi Arabia launch. FDA and RFK Jr. aim to remove fluoride supplements used to protect kids' teeth. 4 months ago, children exposed to higher fluoride levels have lower IQs, a government study finds. RFK Jr. goes swimming in D.C.'s Rock Creek despite NPS guidance on bacteria. Trump says he figured out the system in lowering drug prices. Netanyahu says Israel to enter Gaza with full force in coming days. It has been reported as, Trump repeatedly bypasses Netanyahu, stoking dismay among Israelis. NYT reports that, in private, some Israeli officers admit that Gaza is on the brink of starvation. Macron, what Netanyahu is doing in Gaza is unacceptable and shameful. Trump to rewrite AI chip curbs reviled by NVIDIA and U.S. allies, and U.S. issues worldwide restriction on using Huawei AI chips. In the U.S., House GOP proposes 10-year ban on state AI regulations, and U.S. inks bill to force geo-tracking tech for high-end gaming and AI GPUs. UK House of Lords backs amendment to AI bill thanks to peer vote that forces companies to reveal copyrighted material used in training AI models. Elon Musk's Boring Company is in talks with government over Amtrak project. EPA administrator targets stop-start vehicle tech, everyone hates it. Trump administration considers large chip sale to Emirati AI firm G42. GM's new manganese-rich battery promises cheaper EVs in 2028. Baidu's Apollo teams with Car Inc. to launch autonomous driving rental service. Baidu eyes European debut for driverless taxi. Bloomberg comments as, DeepSeek's tech madman founder is threatening U.S. dominance in AI race. Google's open-source AI models Gemma exceed 150M downloads. New attack can steal cryptocurrency by planting false memories in AI chatbots. You can now book a chef or personal trainer while traveling with Airbnb. U.S. ski areas report 61.5 million skier visits for 2024-25, second best season on record. McDonald's announces plans to hire 375,000 workers with Trump labor secretary. Google adding UWB for Android trackers this month, luggage and airline integration soon. Philips debuts 3D printable components to repair products. PayPal launches iPhone NFC payments in Germany after EU forced Apple to open up. Penn State administration is proposing to close 7 Commonwealth campuses. In the U.S., tax on major university endowments raised to 21% in House GOP bill. Exposed CCP espionage ring at Stanford unveils deep infiltration of U.S. academia. Nintendo Switch 2 can stop charging at 90% to help it live longer. iOS 19 will include AI battery management feature. Bluetooth SIG announces Bluetooth 6.1 with improved power efficiency and security. China to invest 27 billion Brazilian reals in Brazil as Lula hails unbreakable ties, and Chinese President Xi slams bullying as Beijing hosts Latin American leaders. Colombia's Petro pivots to Beijing with intent to join Belt and Road. China's bullet-shaped satellite test paves the way for very low-orbit surveillance network. New Zealand reports record exodus, driving down net immigration. In the U.S., Olivia and Liam remain most popular baby names for 2024, and marks the 6th consecutive year. Bologna's leaning tower to be stabilized by late 2028, mayor says. Elon Musk says the U.S. is running a quiet trial of Trump's $5 million gold card for the ultra-wealthy. In the U.S., a budget airline begins deportation flights for ICE with start of Arizona operations. FBI ordered to prioritize immigration, as DOJ scales back white-collar cases. In the U.S., Republicans propose paring Medicaid coverage but steer clear of deeper cuts. House Republicans propose $5 billion for private school vouchers. In the U.S., Department of Homeland Security investigates State of California for providing federal benefits to illegal aliens. New signals point to vast ocean of water hidden beneath Mars's crust. JWST captures Jupiter's auroras fizzing and popping with light. Solar tornado big enough to swallow Earth seen on quiet Sunday. Samsung launches world's first 500Hz OLED gaming monitor, Odyssey OLED G6. Wall Street Journal reports that Apple to support brain implant control of its devices. Google announces that 1 billion RCS messages are sent every day in the U.S. Trump family-backed American Bitcoin to go public via merger with Griffin Digital. The CryptoPunks NFTs are being sold to a non-profit as their value continues to fall. Coinbase joining S&P 500 days after Bitcoin soared past $100,000. Meta threatens to shut down Facebook, Instagram and Nigeria as fines near $300 million. TikTok working on photo messaging feature despite employee concerns over sextortion. Google facing at least 12 billion euros in civil claims across Europe. Google wants to make stolen Android phones basically unsellable. China's March shipments of foreign-branded cell phones drop almost 50%. Wall Street Journal reports that Apple considers raising iPhone prices, without blaming tariffs. In India, Cabinet approves semiconductor unit in Uttar Pradesh, as a joint venture of HCL and Foxconn. Intel certifies Shell lubricant for cooling AI data centers. Nvidia reportedly raises GPU prices by 10 to 15% as manufacturing costs surge, tariffs and TSMC price hikes filter down to retailers. Janet Jackson to receive Icon Award at 2025 American Music Awards. Oasis have no plan for any new music, says band manager. Unannounced Super Mario Bros. Movie sequel title Super Mario World published then pulled from NBC Universal press release. Trump administration cuts another $450 million in grants to Harvard, on top of $2.2 billion already frozen. GOP senator introduces bill to make all porn a federal crime, following Project 2025 playbook. Nazi propaganda material from 1941 discovered in Argentine Supreme Court basement. Peruvian PM resigns ahead of no-confidence vote. Albanian preliminary polls results show a clear win for the ruling socialists. France derides Russia's false claim of drug use by Macron, Merz, and Starmer. Trump floats joining possible Ukraine-Russia talks in Turkey. Zelensky to travel to Turkey for peace talks regardless of Putin's plans. Macron promises new Russia sanctions, discusses French nuclear deterrent for Europe. Mali's leader dissolves political parties and bans meetings of their members. Russia convicts a prominent election monitoring activist and sentences him to 5 years in prison. Hungary's Orbán flags new legislation, crackdown on media over foreign funding. Prime Video now reaches 130 million US ad-supported customers, Amazon says. Sony Pictures Entertainment full-year profit slips 4% to $774 million. Unions and MPA urge Trump to back Hollywood tax deductions. Gerard Depardieu found guilty of sexual assault on a 2021 film set. Ken makes it official, nudity and voluminous outfits are banned on red carpet. Madonna teams with Sean Levy for limited series about her life and works at Netflix. ESPN will call its forthcoming flagship streaming app simply ESPN, sources say. Axios reports that, time to launch longevity franchise. Theatrical Cocomelon movie in works for release by Universal.
Crypto, politics, tech, and more. Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrollers May 12, 2025 edition. Number 1 hit and May 12, 2025 edition. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube Music Charts. Global Top Songs May 2 to May 8, 2025. Die with a Smile. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars.
APT, Rosé et Bruno Mars. Passo bem solto, Sloved, Atos. El mayor de los ranas, Víctor Valverde y J.R. Torres.
Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global. From the Friday, May 2 to Thursday, May 8, 2025. Die with a Smile Lady Gaga Bruno Mars. Ordinary. Alex Warren. Birds of a Feather. Billie Eilish.
APT, Rosé, Bruno Mars.
Stylish.
APT, Rosé, Bruno Mars.
Steam's hottest games. Global top selling and top played games across Steam. From the top 100 products by revenue list, for Tuesday, April 29, 2025 to Tuesday, May 6, 2025. Counter-Strike 2.
Clair-Obscur, Expédition 33.
The Elder Scrolls 4. Oblivion Remastered. Schedule 1.
RPO.
CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA is increasingly aware of unsophisticated cyber actors targeting ICS/SCADA systems within U.S. critical infrastructure sectors, oil and natural gas, specifically in energy and transportation systems. One more drop in the ocean of AI. ACE Steps ACE Step v1-3.5b. ACE Step is a novel open-source foundation model for music generation that overcomes key limitations of existing approaches through a holistic architectural design. It integrates diffusion-based generation with Sana's deep compression autoencoder, DCAE, and a lightweight linear transformer, achieving state-of-the-art performance in generation speed, musical coherence, and controllability. 15 times faster than LLM-based basslines, 20s for 4-minute music on A100, superior musical coherence across melody, harmony, and rhythm and full song generation, duration control, and accepts natural language descriptions. New office for Vanuatu Golden Visas in Phuket puts citizenship for sale risks in spotlight. Skilled migrants will need degrees to come to UK, as UK to toughen skilled worker visa rules in immigration overhaul. Taliban suspends chess over gambling concerns. France, Poland pledge mutual defense in new cooperation treaty. 11,000 troops, 200 tanks, and 28 foreign leaders. Putin stages Moscow parade in belligerent show of force. China hosts delegation of 100 African military officers to strengthen defense ties. Hormone-treated beef will not enter UK after US deal, says government. British plane parts exempted from Trump tariffs as US trade deal progresses. Swiss president calls US tariff talks disappointing and hopes US-China meeting goes better. China targets smugglers to strengthen export controls on critical minerals. India accuses Pakistan of using up to 400 drones to attack cities and bases. India-Pakistan agree to full and immediate ceasefire, announces Donald Trump. Previously IPL suspended indefinitely due to India-Pakistan military conflict. Violations reported after India and Pakistan agree to ceasefire. IMF frees $1 billion for Pakistan, approves new $1.4 billion program. Trump calls for 20,000 extra officers to help with deportation efforts. Newark mayor released after arrest at immigration facility protest, says, "I didn't do anything wrong." U.S. Department of Education opens foreign funding investigation into University of Pennsylvania after discovering inaccurate and untimely foreign financial disclosures. Ukraine-Hungary each expel 2 diplomats in espionage row. Reuters reports that U.S. weighs special status for Greenland as quest for island intensifies. Bangladesh bans ousted PM Swami League under terrorism law. OpenAI to rework Microsoft partnership, reduce revenue share. Apple may release a mostly glass-curved iPhone in 2027. Coinbase decided against Michael Saylor's Bitcoin buying strategy, and Coinbase unveils 24/7 Bitcoin and Ethereum futures trading one day after announcing landmark Deribit acquisition. FTC delays enforcement of click-to-cancel for subscriptions by 60 days. A quarter of U.S. consumers are now financing groceries with buy now, pay later as economic pressures mount, survey says. Australian Prime Minister. Reducing student debt is his government's first priority. Trump to hold summit with Gulf leaders during Saudi Arabia trip, and Trump administration poised to accept Palace in the Sky as a gift for Trump from Qatar, sources. Boeing now plans to deliver new Air Force One jets in 2027, before Trump leaves office. Qatar calls reports of pending jet gift to Trump inaccurate. Pope Leo XIV names AI one of the reasons for his papal name, and Pope Leo signals he will closely follow Francis and says AI represents challenge for humanity. Trump fires head of Copyright Office 2 days following report that AI training may not be fair use. SoundCloud says it has never used artist content to train AI models, after backlash on terms of service change. Previously it has been reported that SoundCloud changed its AI policy so it can train on users' audio. Gen Zers in Georgia are losing their classic Southern drawl, reflecting a trend of regional accent shifts across the country. Chimpanzees use some features of language to talk to each other, and chimpanzees drum with regular rhythm when they beat on tree trunks, a form of ancient communication. Godzilla x Kong sequel gets supernova title, as it begins production for 2027 release. Body of soldiers V. Feldman, missing for 43 years, recovered from Syria by Mossad IDF. Trump envoy confirms that Hamas has agreed to release last living U.S. hostage in Gaza. Infamous Nazi war criminal helped set up top drug cartel and worked with Pablo Escobar, report says. Wall Street Journal reports that Trump promised to end 2 wars quickly. In private, he admits he's frustrated. European leaders say Trump agreed to sanction Russia unless ceasefire agreed. Putin proposes direct peace talks with Ukraine after 3 years of war. And Turkey ready to host Russia-Ukraine peace talks, Erdogan tells Putin. Zelensky demands ceasefire before agreeing to Putin's call for direct talks. USDA. Doge demands states hand over personal data about food stamp recipients. Trump says he will order that the U.S. pay only the price other nations do for some drugs. Trump to build National Center for Homeless Veterans with funds previously spent on housing for illegal aliens. As Trump executive order envisions housing homeless veterans at VA Center in West LA. Trump recommends Wall Street Journal replace its editor with New York Post following critical coverage. Mexico sues Google over changing Gulf of Mexico's name for U.S. users. Reportedly, Trump envoy relied on Kremlin interpreter in meetings with Putin to end war in Ukraine. Children born in 2020 will face unprecedented exposure to climate extremes. At least 7 dead after heavy rains overwhelm drainage system in Somalia. EU scientists sound alarm over escalating spring drought. US, China agreed to lower tariffs in 90-day cool-off period. As US, China agreed to slash tariffs by 115% for 90 days. Thailand braces for temporary investment freeze as US tariffs remain uncertain. CNN reports that 0 ships from China are bound for California's top ports. Officials haven't seen that since the pandemic. Poland blames Russian intelligence for arson attack on Warsaw shopping center last year. As Poland orders closure of Russian consulate in Krakow, citing arson attack blamed on Moscow. NATO chief seeks defense spending at 5% of GDP by 2032. Dutch PM. China will have over 100 nuclear reactors. A PLA study warns some could be hit in wartime. CATL's $5.3 billion Hong Kong IPO defies gloom with Citi's biggest stock sale since 2021. Bloomberg comments as, tech industry warns U.S. investment pledges hinge on research tax break. TNR comments as, manufacturers say Trump has made opening U.S. factories impossible. Bloomberg comments as, Europe's gig economy is consolidating under U.S. ownership. Malicious NPM packages infect 200-plus cursor users with backdoor steal credentials. Doge software engineer's computer infected by info-stealing malware. A North Korean agent applied for a job at a popular crypto firm. They tripped him up with a simple question about Halloween. Violent offenders more likely to perceive ambiguous faces as angry, study shows. Teachers and librarians are among those least likely to die by suicide. Long-term meditation may reduce stress and aging, study suggests. Reportedly, coffee shops ditch Wi-Fi and laptops to limit remote work. Textbook and testing giant Pearson hit by cyber attack, customer data leaked. Nintendo reserves the right to brick your console following unauthorized use, in bid to prevent piracy. FDA approves first at-home alternative to the Pap smear. PTSD treatment that excites a nerve in your neck wipes symptoms completely. Physicists turn lead into gold for a fraction of a second, as Alice detects the conversion of lead into gold at the LHC. In the UK, AI model trained on de-identified data from 57 million people. Insurers launch cover for losses caused by AI chatbot errors. Asking chatbots for short answers can increase hallucinations, study finds. New Scientist comments as, AI hallucinations are getting worse. And they're here to stay. Klarna slows AI-driven job cuts with call for real people. AI use damages professional reputation, study suggests.
Crypto, politics, tech, and more. Get your daily news fix with Newssource Scroll as the 9th of May 2025 edition. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube Music Charts, Global Top Songs April 25th to May 1st, 2025. Die with a Smile, Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. APT, Rosé and Bruno Mars. El Mayor de los Runners, Victor Valverde and Junior Torres. Paso Bem Solto, Slowed, ATLXS. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global. From the Friday, April 25th to Thursday, May 1st, 2025. Die with a Smile, Lady Gaga, Bruno Mars. Ordinary, Alex Warren. Birds of a Feather. Billie Eilish. APT, Rosé, Bruno Mars. Steam's Hottest Games. Global top-selling and top-played games across Steam. From the top 100 products by revenue list for Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025 to Tuesday, April 29th, 2025. The Elder Scrolls for Oblivion Remastered. Counter-Strike 2. Claire Obscure, Expedition 33. Schedule 1. Last Epoch. CISA Cybersecurity Alerts and Advisories. CISA releases guidance on credential risks associated with potential legacy Oracle Cloud compromise. One more drop in the ocean of AI. Qwen's Qwen 3-235B A22B. Qwen 3 is the latest generation of large language models in Qwen series, offering a comprehensive suite of dense and mixture of experts, MO, models. Built upon extensive training, Qwen 3 delivers groundbreaking advancements in reasoning, instruction following, agent capabilities, and multilingual support, with the following key features: uniquely supportive seamless switching between thinking mode, significantly enhancement in its reasoning capabilities, superior human preference alignment, expertise in agent capabilities, support of 100+ languages and dialects with strong capabilities for multilingual instruction following and translation. Pakistan claims Chinese-made J-10C fighter jets used against India's Air Force, and it has been reported that Chinese celebrate J-10C fighters' success over Rafale jets during India-Pak clash, hail PL-15 missile, and India says it targeted Pakistan's radar in clash amid speculation system was made in China. China reiterates its unwavering support for Pakistan amid regional tensions with India and China. US watch closely from the sidelines as India-Pakistan crisis unfolds. Disney, Miral announced plans for new Disney theme park in Abu Dhabi. Napoleon's personal saber to be auctioned at Druot. Nintendo forecasts sales of 15 million Switch 2 consoles as it gears up for launch. After an Arizona man was shot, an AI video of him addresses his killer in court. Deranged video shows AI job recruiter absolutely losing it during an interview. In the US, Real IDs are now required at airports across the US for domestic travel. Netflix unveils revamped homepage and app with OpenAI-powered search tool. The Hollywood Reporter comments as, creators are building their own supersized studio system as Hollywood cuts back, and Bloomberg reports that, podcast industry is twice as large as previously estimated. Nigerian filmmakers pivot to YouTube as streaming firms pull back. First Afrikaners granted refugee status due to arrive in US. In the US, judge says Trump plan to send migrants to Libya would violate court order, and judge blocks deportation flight of Asian migrants to Libya. Libya's leaders say they haven't agreed to accept deported migrants from the US. Federal judge orders Trump admin to immediately resettle 12K migrants. Apple eyes move to AI search, ending era defined by Google. Anthropic launches Claude Web Search API, betting on the future of post-Google information access. Google agrees to fund the development of 3 new nuclear sites. Apple is developing specialized chips for glasses, new Macs and AI servers, as Apple plans iPhone release schedule shakeup, new styles, and Apple's Eddie Q, AI could replace iPhone in 10 years. Meta renews work on facial recognition tech as privacy worries fade. Huawei unveils first laptop running self-developed HarmonyOS as Windows license expires. Natural short sleepers have a genetic mutation, finds new study. Mammals' lifespans linked to brain size and immune system function, says new study. Dementia soars in China beyond global average, data shows. Syria's al-Sharaa confirms indirect talks with Israel amid soaring tensions. France's Macron wants EU to end Syrian sanctions, as in Paris, Sharaa promised gradual lifting of sanctions but told to protect minorities. Germany's new chancellor urges US officials to stay out of his country's politics, and Mars, Trump agree on need to resolve trade disputes, Germany says, and German intel agency suspends labeling of AfD as a right-wing extremist pending appeal. Turkey's top court upholds controversial law on culling of stray dogs. Scorpions taking over Brazilian cities with reported stings rising 250%. More than 100 vultures die in a mass poisoning in South Africa's flagship national park. In the U.S., Justice Department announces results of Operation Restore Justice, 205 child sex abuse offenders arrested in FBI-led nationwide crackdown, including 5 in the Eastern District of Michigan, and rescue of 115 children. In the U.S., feds call child abuse confession law for priests anti-Catholic as church vows to excommunicate those who comply, as DOJ opens inquiry into new WA law requiring clergy to report abuse. Conservatives accused Prevost of covering up abuse in Peru and the United States before conclave. Mitsubishi Motors signs MOU to outsource EV model development to Foxconn unit. Who you may step in as South Korea's LG abandons $8.45 billion Indonesia EV battery investment. Tesla's robotaxi trademark refused for being too generic, TechCrunch reports. White smoke billows from Sistine Chapel, signaling new pope elected, and American Cardinal Robert Prevost elected as new pope, takes name Leo XIV. It has been commented as, Francis was chosen to save the church, Leo XIV is called on to save the world, and Pope Leo XIV urges cardinals to make themselves small in First Mass as pontiff. Pope Leo XIV has Creole lineage, New Orleans genealogist says. In the U.S., Republicans to pay for Trump tax cuts with sales of public land, as committee approves sale of public lands to help finance megabill. USDA chief says agency is trying to fill key jobs after paying $15,000 to leave. Bill Gates says his foundation will close in 2045 and decries Musk for USAID cuts, as Bill Gates to give away $200 billion by 2045, says Musk is killing the world's poorest children. Donald Trump announces U.S. trade deal with Britain, suggests call with Xi Jinping for China, and Britain's digital tax on big tech are not impacted by trade deal. Bank of England cuts interest rates to 4.25% as governor welcomes U.S. tariff deal news. CNBC comments as, Trump's deal with the UK sends a clear message: 10% tariffs are here to stay. China says US asked for trade meeting in Switzerland. China's exports rose a higher than expected 8% in April as new US tariffs took effect, and in the US Chinese imports hit two-decade low as Trump tariffs begin to bite. Trump says 80% China tariff seems right, ahead of talks. Linux drops support for 486 and early Pentium processors, 20 years after Microsoft. Data manipulations alleged in study that paved the way for Microsoft's quantum chip. Gates, Bezos-backed cobbled eyes DRC lithium project. Reuters reports that U.S., Israel discuss possible U.S.-led administration for Gaza, sources say. PKK to officially disband this week, sources say, and Kurdish PKK Congress took historic decisions after jailed leader urged disarmament, agency says. India strikes alleged headquarters of militant groups in Pakistan's heartland, and BJP claims Masood Azhar's brother and Jaish leader Abdul Rauf Azhar killed in airstrikes under Operation Sindoor. In the U.S. Treasury increases pressure on firms importing Iranian oil, designating the Teapot Refinery Hebei Xinhai Chemical Group Company, Limited and 3 port terminal operators in Shandong for purchasing Iranian oil. Putin condemned Trump's Golden Dome as effort to weaponize space. Pentagon declares war on outdated software buying, opens fire on open source. Reuters reports that Ukraine considers shift from dollar to euro amid geopolitical realignments. Vance says Russia is asking for too much renegotiations to end the war with Ukraine. Ukraine says it has busted Hungarian spy ring collecting military data. FDA announces completion of first AI-assisted scientific review pilot and aggressive agency-wide AI rollout timeline, as OpenAI and the FDA are holding talks about using AI in drug evaluation. Reddit will tighten verification to keep out human-like AI bots. Stripe unveils AI foundation model for payments, reveals deeper partnerships with NVIDIA. Wikimedia Foundation brings legal challenge to new UK Online Safety Act requirements. Lockbit ransomware gang hacked, victim negotiations exposed. Google links new Lost Keys data theft malware to Russian cyber spies. OpenAI launches GitHub connector for ChatGPT deep research to answer questions about code. Google rolls out AI tools to protect Chrome users against scams. Alibaba's Zero Search lets AI learn to Google itself, slashing training costs by 88%. Indian government orders ban on Pakistani content as regional tensions rise. Bloomberg comments as Putin 11 alliance takes aim at US-led world order. French mosque murder suspect acted without ideological motive, prosecutor says. Sudan, advanced Chinese weaponry provided by UAE identified in breach of arms embargo, new investigation. Reuters reports that, under Trump, Saudi civil nuclear talks delinked from Israel recognition, sources say. The Telegraph reports that, in the UK, Israeli embassy plot was attempt to derail Iran-US nuclear talks, as UK police foil alleged terror plot by Iranians on Israeli embassy. Expedia misses quarterly revenue estimates amid weak US travel demand, shares down. UK to announce $10 billion Boeing purchase, US Commerce Secretary says. Robinhood plans blockchain to trade US assets in Europe. Trump to end spending on Biden-era digital equity law, calling it racist and illegal. Trump admin ends extreme weather database that has tracked cost of disasters since 1980. The DEA once touted body cameras for their enhanced transparency. Now the agency is abandoning them. Coinbase says $2.9 billion Deribit deal will increase profits even as income drops in Q1. Small-time Trump coin buyers have seen their investments collapse, and Bloomberg reports that top Trump crypto buyers vying for dinner seats are likely foreign, data shows. U.S. banks can buy and sell customers' crypto assets on their behalf, OCC says. App figures: Apple made over $10 billion from U.S. App Store commissions last year. World Video Game Hall of Fame inducts Defender, Tamagotchi, GoldenEye 007 and Quake. Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum sets pre-Christmas 2027 release. Celsius CEO Alex Mashinsky sentenced to 12 years in multi-billion-dollar crypto fraud case. Judge dismisses most charges against FTX as celebrity boosters. Fortune reports that Meta in talks to deploy stablecoins 3 years after giving up on landmark crypto project. AI leaders to urge senators to speed power supply permitting, boost government data access. IRS hopes to replace fired enforcement workers with AI. Reportedly, college students are sprinkling typos into their AI papers on purpose. Amazon to spend $4 billion on cloud infrastructure in Chile. OpenAI to invest in efforts to build AI infrastructure overseas. Trump administration to rescind and replace Biden-era global AI chip export curbs. Kennedy announces new database for research into the root causes of autism, and RFK Jr. says autism database will use Medicare and Medicaid info. Trump picks conspiracy theorist wellness influencer Casey Means with no medical license to replace Fox contributor as Surgeon General. CNN reports that, in the US, a militarized conspiracy theorist group believes radars are the weather weapons and is trying to destroy them. NASA, in surprise shift, may launch rockets to Mars next year. Trump administration to stop US research on space pollution, in boon to Elon Musk. Washington Post reports that US pushes nations facing tariffs to approve Musk's Starlink cable show. Eggs less likely to crack when dropped side on, research reveals. In the US, the private prison GEO Group CEO on ICE, we're a better deal than Sicot. Pirate shipwrecks that sank in 1710 off Costa Rica are actually remains of Danish slave ships. Malware steals 1.7 billion passwords, now for sale on the dark web. David Beckham and Gary Neville complete Salford City Consortium takeover. Victory Day parade in Russia celebrates the 80th anniversary of the defeat of Nazi